Hey everyone, it's Kai from Cool Collectibles back again for another review. This time it's the Transformers Masterpiece MP-15 16E, with the E, I assume, standing for Encore, as in these are the Masterpiece versions of the Takara Encore G1 reissues of their corresponding characters. So you have here the Ravage, Ratbat, Rumble, and Steeljaw with the black repaint there now, of course, for Night Stalker. So the name for these are Stripes, Wild Thing, I think it is, Enemy, and Night Stalker. I honestly didn't know too much about these until the announcement of these MP figures, but I always like my repaints just to display in alt mode, and I will have these probably displayed in alt mode, assuming that the Steeljaw mold here is a teaser for MP Blaster and the proper Steeljaw release. But I'll talk about that a bit more later. Just quickly go through what you get with the set. Of course, it comes with the box here with the front artwork, as they always do. And this time, instead of having 2 cassettes in a box, they have the 4 cassettes in a box. And I guess some people have mentioned that this stock from Hong Kong, I got these from Robot Kingdom, but apparently there was some decision that the stock from some factory was not good enough or something like that, and so they got these from China or something like that. So I'm not sure what exactly happened or what the whole issue is with that, but I guess there was one issue with my Night Stalker, which I'll show you guys once I do the transformation. But other than that, everything else is pretty damn good. So quality wise, I don't see too many issues apart from one issue with Night Stalker. You also get, of course, the instruction book, which is a pretty stock standard. You get the collector card, and yes, I'll always mention it, I hate the new artwork. I'm not sure why couldn't they go with some standard old ones that they used to do. The artwork there I thought was much better. But moving on from that, because I did get this from Robot Kingdom, they included the coin. This is the packaging, and this time they didn't enclose it in any sticky tape. You just sort of open that up there and it falls out. So that's the inside, and the reverse is the Cassettrons or the Decepticon side, with this side being the Autobot side. So for those that keep the covers, that's pretty nice, but I normally throw those away and just keep the coin. And the coin here, again, is pretty nice. So you get this nice full metal sort of bronze type coin. I love that they're going back to doing these coins now, and you get the names of the figures there. So Night Stalker, Enemy, Wild Thing, and Stripes. So again, a nice addition to the coin collection. But on to the figures. Oh, I guess I'll go through the accessories. It comes with the standard sort of, what do they call them? Pounders, or I can't remember what they're called. These that you attach to the arms of Rumble, or Enemy in this case, and you can extend them out to do the earthquake stomping type action there. And then of course you can put this onto, I think you jam this on top to join them up or something like that. I won't bother doing it, but you get the idea. Pretty much stock standard from the previous MP-15 and 16 releases. And of course you get either the pistols that he can hold, or the backpack weapons that you normally see on Rumble and Frenzy. But onto the figures. Alright, I'll go through the alt mode of each first. So this is Night Stalker. I have transformed each of them once, back and forth, just to get a feel for any QC or any other issues. And they're fairly straightforward. And this one here looks quite nice. I guess I did notice that once these are bent upwards during the transformation, once they bend down, they tend to stick up a little bit, so it's not quite flush. But other than that, it doesn't look too bad. And of course, you never look at these cassettes from the rear. So that's Night Stalker, nicely done there. Bit of paint blemishes there on the silver, but I think with these releases, there's pretty much always at least a couple of paint blemishes on these cassettes. This one here is Stripes, the Ravage repaint, and looks quite nice there. I do like the gold wings or weapons there. And this is Wild Thing, the Rat Bat repaint. This is probably the cleanest looking of the cassettes due to the large flat wing surfaces there. And this is Enemy, and that does look quite nice as well. And I did find the transformations for Ravage, the Ravage mold, the Rumble mold, and the Rat Bat mold to be far easier than the original releases. The joints on the original releases were very, very tight. These ones are pretty tight as well, but not to the point where you think you're going to break it. I remember the torso section here for the Ravage mold, as you were trying to bend one section up and then bend the other section down, there were reports of breakages, and it was very, very hard on my initial transformation of Ravage, but on this one it was quite easy, so I do like that. So I'm not going to bother transforming these three repaints on camera, but once I do transform into bot mode, I'll give you guys a quick comparison against the original figures, but I will go through the transformation for Night Stalker here, which is different, and I'll point out the particular QC issue that I'll probably have to go back and see if I can do anything about with the retailer, or if anyone can give me any advice on how to fix it. Alright, to transform this guy, you first fold these sections up at the top. Just be careful you don't put too much pressure on this center piece here, just in case that snaps off. And then you come around and you lift out the feet here, fold those out. You can lift this whole section up at the front here. Then you come out and you can fold out his inner feet like so, and fold out his head. So that's half of his head there, the other half of the head on this side, and this back section just stays up like that. You can then fold the rear legs down. Oh, you can fold out his tail first. Just fold that out from underneath, and then fold the rear legs down like that. These front legs, there's another sort of hinge joint here. So you just make sure you fold the legs down that way as well. If I can do that properly. Like so. Just rotate that all a little bit back, get some more room. If you get it looking something like that, you're on the right track. And then of course you can then fold his head and chest together like so, and that just clips in. And I do like the sculpt that they've given him there with the gold eyes, the teeth, and that does look pretty damn good. These sections at the back here just fold down like that, and then you need to get your fingernail in here and get these little wing things out. I can never get it with my fingernail, so I have to get one of these little tools and get that out. Do the same on this side. Get that wing out so it sits like that, and the rear feet, just bend that to roughly 90 degrees. Bend the feet just to give it that sort of animal-like pose like that. And the front legs here, you can then turn them around, and this will reveal the QC issue that I've got. Actually, turn that the right way around. So what these front legs need to have is there's a lower section here. So just so this lower, I guess the forearm of the leg, the outer side here is the longer side, and it then juts into this smaller section. So just make sure that's on the outer side. And so when I did it on this side here, you'll notice that my paw is actually upside down. So I guess that's an assembly issue there that I can't really do anything about. I did notice that there is a little sort of peg hole here, or a pin hole, so there's a steel peg or a pin there, but in this one here I've tried to stick a little needle in there, or a toothpick in there, to try and squeeze something out so I can then take off the paw and reverse it and then plug the pin back in, but it doesn't seem to budge. So if anyone has any ideas on how I can release this pin in here and reverse it, leave a comment in the description, and that'd be really helpful. Otherwise I might have to go back to Robot Kingdom and see if they can help me out with a replacement or anything like that, but we'll see. But other than that, the sculpt itself looks pretty good. I do like the sort of chunky chest and so on. It gives him a bit of presence there. I was a bit surprised by this gap, and I thought I'd mistransformed him, but going back to the prototype photos, the gap is pretty obvious in the promotional photos, so that is the way the transformation goes. But that's pretty much it. So in the scheme of the cassettes and their designs, this is fits in perfectly. So I won't transform the others on camera, but I will get them all into their bot modes and give you guys a comparison against their original figures. Hold on. Alright, so here is Stripes in, I guess, its tiger mode, and overall it does look pretty nice. Instead of the weapons on the side of Ravage here, it's got the gold wings, but as you can see the mold is pretty much identical apart from that. So as I was saying, this sort of center section here that you had to fold out and then up on Ravage for mine was very tight, but on Stripes here was pretty easy to move. So overall looks pretty good. Here is Ratbat and Wild Thing here. So Wild Thing is very, very bright orange, which I don't particularly like, and the gold on the rockets for Ratbat do look better than the silver. So overall, not much to really sing about for Wild Thing here, but I am glad that I'll just have him in the cassette mode. And then of course there is Enemy, and I'd have to say Enemy is probably my favorite out of all of them. I do like the repaint and the change in plastic. The chroming is very good, no major issues with the chrome on the knees there or the torso, so that's all good. And here he is next to the original Frenzy, or I guess in Takara's case, Rumble. So I guess that gives you an idea on the difference. I guess it's a shame that on this one there is a bit of a plastic spur or sprue mark there. That's not on the originals, so that's where they have to cut the plastic, I think. And so it's a shame that's there. But again, I will have this in the cassette mode. So that is pretty much it for these cassettes. Overall, I'm not too fussed about the price for them. I think it was about $50 or $60 for the 4 of them, and overall they do look pretty good, particularly if you do like your repaints as well, and I'm a bit of a repaint whore when it comes to Takara Masterpiece figures. So hopefully this Night Stalker mold is a preview for Steeljaw and an official blaster. Hopefully they announce that soon in 2018. Otherwise I guess it is a bit of a wasted mold. So hopefully you like that quick look at this MP-15 16E released by Takara. So hopefully you can click that like and subscribe button. I do have the MP Sunstreaker review coming up shortly, so hopefully you can give that a subscribe button a click, and stay tuned for the upcoming review. So thanks again, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Cheers, bye.